Ivan Petrovich, a sergeant in the Red Army, found myself in a desperate situation. I was behind enemy lines at the Battle of Stalingrad, and my mission had gone wrong. I was ambushed by 11 German soldiers, and I was the only one who made it out alive. I was badly injured, but I had to make my way back to my comrades. I had to fight my way past enemy lines, using whatever I could find to defend myself. This is my story. The first few soldiers were easy to take down. I was filled with adrenaline, and I fought with all my might. I used my bare hands, strangling them and knocking them to the ground. But as I made my way deeper into enemy territory, the soldiers got more difficult to defeat. I was running low on ammunition, and I had to rely on my wit and my strength. I stumbled upon a soldier with a heavy machine gun. He was a giant of a man, and he filled me with fear. But I knew I had to face him. We grappled with each other, both determined to come out on top. I was badly wounded, but I refused to give up. I found a loose brick and used it as a weapon, bashing the soldier over the head until he fell to the ground, unconscious. With 10 soldiers down, I was close to my goal. I stumbled on, my vision blurring from the loss of blood. But there was one last obstacle in my way, a young German soldier who was little more than a boy. I could see the fear in his eyes as he approached, and for a moment I hesitated. But then I remembered why I was there, fighting for my country and my comrades. I charged at the young soldier, knife in hand, and the two of us clashed in a final showdown. I was exhausted, my body racked with pain, but I refused to give up. I fought with all my might, every muscle in my body straining as I tried to overpower the enemy. And in the end, I emerged victorious, panting and bleeding, but triumphant. I finally stumbled back to my comrades, collapsing into their arms. They were shocked at the sight of me, covered in blood and dirt, but they were also proud. I had proven myself to be one of the bravest soldiers in the Red Army, and my bravery would not be forgotten. As I lay in the hospital, recovering from my wounds, I thought back on my journey through enemy territory. I had fought my way past 11 German soldiers, using my bare hands and my determination to make it back to safety. It was a story that would be told for years to come, a testament to the bravery and determination of the soldiers who fought at the Battle of Stalingrad. But most of all, it was a reminder to me of what I was capable of. I was a survivor, a fighter, and I would never give up. No matter what the odds were against me, I would always find a way to win. I was a simple Red Army soldier, fighting for my country in the bloodiest battle of the war. Stalingrad was a living hell, and every day felt like a struggle to survive. But I fought on, alongside my comrade Sergei. Sergei was a formidable soldier, always at the front lines, always fighting with bravery and determination. He inspired us all, and I was honored to fight beside him. One day, our unit was tasked with pushing back a German offensive. We fought ferociously, but as the day wore on, our ammunition began to run low. Ivan and I were among the few left standing, and we were soon surrounded by enemy soldiers. Just as all hope seemed lost, Sergei spotted a sword in a nearby bombed-out home. With a fierce shout, he grabbed the sword and began to fight the Germans with it. I had never seen anything like it, and I was awestruck by his bravery. I picked up a discarded rifle and joined him in the fight. The Germans were no match for Ivan's sword, and one by one, they fell. But as we approached the safety of our lines, a shot rang out. Sergei crumpled to the ground, felled by a sniper's bullet. I knelt beside him, tears streaming down my face. Sergei had saved us all, and I would always be grateful to him. I carried his body back to our lines, where he was hailed as a hero. I may have lost a comrade, but I would never forget the bravery and selflessness of Sergei, the soldier who fought with a sword in the Battle of Stalingrad. I was a Red Army soldier, fighting in the Battle of Stalingrad. Every day was a battle for survival, but I was determined to do my part in defeating the Germans. One day, I found myself in the thick of a brutal firefight. I fired my rifle, ducked for cover, and reloaded. I fought with all my might, taking out enemy after enemy. But just when I thought I was making progress, I felt a searing pain in my side. I looked down to see a bullet hole in my uniform. I was sure that I was done for, but as I fell to the ground, I realized that the bullet had hit something in my pocket. I reached in and pulled out my flask of vodka. To my surprise, the flask was still intact, and the bullet had gone straight through the metal without breaking it. I chuckled to myself, realizing that my love for vodka had saved my life. But as I uncapped the flask to take a celebratory swig, I was disappointed to see that the bullet had made a small hole in the bottom. My precious vodka was seeping out, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. I shook my head and laughed. I may have survived the battle, but my poor flask of vodka had not been so lucky. I took a sip of what was left, and as the warm liquid flowed down my throat, I couldn't help but feel grateful. I had survived another day in Stalingrad, and that was a victory in itself. I was a Red Army soldier fighting in the Battle of Stalingrad. The fighting was fierce, and I was captured early on by the Germans. I was taken to a prisoner camp, where I was treated harshly. I was determined to escape and rejoin my comrades on the front line. One night, I saw my chance. The guards were distracted, and I managed to slip past them undetected. I snuck up behind them and slit their throats, one by one, until they were all down. The guard dogs were barking, but I was quick and quiet, and they never caught my scent. I ran towards the river that separated me from freedom. The moon was high in the sky, casting a soft glow over the water. I jumped in and started to swim across, fighting against the current. The water was cold, but I was filled with adrenaline, and I swam with all my might. On the other side of the river, I could see the lights of my comrades' camp. I was exhausted but elated, and I ran towards them as fast as I could. When I reached the camp, I was greeted as a hero. My comrades were overjoyed to see me, and I was welcomed back with open arms. I was proud to be a Red Army soldier, fighting for my country and my people. I will always remember that night, the night I escaped from the prisoner camp and swam across the river to freedom.